Afterlife Adventures. I'm getting ready to do a spirit box session in the unsolved murder investigation of Natalie Wood. I have her picture set up. I have the candles burning with the incense. I have the Buddy Boo Jr. bear set up, and he's an EMF meter. So if energy comes near him, his little paws will light up. I have the Gotcha Ghost box with the spirit box set up, and I also have the Ghost Tube app set up on my phone. So while I get ready to get started, here's a little bit of information about Natalie's case, and I will see you soon.
Natalie Wood was born July 20th, 1938. She was an American actress who began her career in film as a child actor and successfully transitioned to young adult roles. She was the recipient of 4 Golden Globes and 3 Academy Award nominations. Born in San Francisco to Russian immigrant parents, Wood began her acting career at age 4 and was given a co-starring role at age 8 in Miracle on 34th Street. As a teenager, she earned a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in Rebel Without a Cause, followed by a role in John Ford's The Searchers and Gypsy, and she received nominations for the Academy Award for Best Actress for her performances in Splendour in the Grass and Love with the Proper Stranger. During the 1970s, Wood began a hiatus from film, and she had a daughter with husband Robert Wagner, whom she had previously married and divorced. Wagner and Wood remarried after she divorced her second husband, Richard Gregson, with whom she had a daughter, Natasha. She acted in only 2 feature films throughout the decade, but appeared slightly more often in television productions, including a remake of the film From Here to Eternity, for which she received a Golden Globe Award. Wood died off of the coast of Santa Catalina Island on November 29, 1981, at age 43, during a holiday break from the production of Brainstorm with Christopher Walkens. Robert and Natalie owned a boat called Splendour, and the Splendor's captain, Dennis Davern, claims that Robert and Natalie were fighting and arguing about Robert's jealousy of Natalie's friendship with Christopher Walken the entire trip, and on the night in question, the 3 were drinking at a restaurant on the island, and the party continued back to the Splendour, where Robert smashed a wine bottle on the coffee table in front of everyone and outright accused Christopher Walken of trying to be with his wife, Natalie. Robert and Natalie's argument continued into their stateroom, where at one point Dennis knocked on the door and asked if everything was all right. When Robert opened the door and told him to mind his own business and leave them alone. A time later, Dennis claims the argument got quiet, so he went to check on them again and found Robert standing at the back of the Splendour by himself, looking sweaty and disheveled, and he told Dennis that Natalie and the dinghy were missing, and he thought she must have left. Robert would not let him call for help or turn on searchlights to look for Natalie. He later called the restaurant on the island, where a search party was set up, and the Coast Guard called almost 4 hours later. Natalie's body was found the following morning floating a mile away from the Splendour, with the dinghy close by. In 2011, the LA County Sheriff's Department reopened Natalie's case, claiming Natalie had over 28 bruises on her face and body and looked like a victim of assault, making Robert a person of interest, and under instruction of the coroner's office, listed her death as drowning and other determined factors. There are also witnesses that have come forward later in the investigation claiming that they heard a woman screaming for help around the time of Natalie's disappearance. Natalie's sister, Lana Wood, recently wrote a book called Little Sister in hopes that there will be justice for Natalie and the cause of her death. She claims that Robert has changed his story several times about the night in question. Now, let's ask the Spirit Box some questions about the Natalie Wood case.
So I'm here to communicate with the spirit of Natalie Wood. I'm wondering if you could come through for me and say your name. Right away it sounded like Natalie. So Natalie, can you tell me anything about your case? Do you remember what happened to you at all? Natalie, can you tell me the last thing you remember when you were on the Splendour with Robert? What is the last thing that you remember from that night? Natalie, can you tell me what happened to you the night that you were found at Catalina? What happened to you? Natalie, was it an accident? What happened to you that night? I heard Robert. I heard they question it. What happened to you when you got in the fight? Do you remember the last thing that happened on the Splendour that night when you were arguing and yelling? This just came on and said disrespectful. I don't mean any disrespect. We're just trying to get answers in your case. We want justice for what happened to you. Can you tell me if it was an accident? I thought I heard a woman say things were made up. Were things made up in the case about you? Died? The autopsy results said that you had over 28 bruises all over you and you looked like you were assaulted. fight that night with Robert get physical? I heard 25. Jealous partner. Is that what happened? You were fighting because Robert was jealous of Christopher Walken? Did you get in the dinghy and take it? Were you trying to leave the boat so you got in the dinghy? Robert said he thought you took the dinghy and then fell out. Is that true? I heard in deep. How did you end up in the water? Did you fall out of the dinghy? How did you end up in the water? You didn't even have shoes on. They said you had wool socks on and a puffy jacket. Okay. Did you leave in the dinghy that night? Can you say your name for confirmation so I know I'm talking to you? I heard Natalie. Is it okay? Do you want me to talk to you? Do you want your case to be solved? Can you give us more information that'll help your case? You know, the captain, Dennis, he came forward and said that Robert was telling him to be quiet about the case. Did you know that? Natalie, do you know my name? Can you say my name? Natalie, do you have any messages for any of your fans or anyone, family? The Ghost Tube app just came on and said, don't leave. Who said don't leave? I'm not leaving. Can you communicate and give me some more information? Was it an accident or were you murdered? It's very possible. Can you say it really clear, either accident or murder? I thought I heard he lied. Couldn't get up in a woman's voice. Did he knock you down? I'm not up. Did he hit you with something? They said you had bruising on your face. I thought I heard champagne. How did you get the bruise on your temple? Information. Is the autopsy report true, or did they leave out information? I heard like they withheld it. Did someone pay them to leave information out? Did you fall or were you knocked down? Your body was found a mile away and you had your puffy coat on. How did you end up in the water? Put me back. Who put you in the water? Was it just a fight that got out of control? There's witnesses coming forward now saying that they heard you screaming for help. They've just come forward like 6 years ago. And they've reopened your case. And they've named Robert a person of interest. Did you know that they reopened your case like 6 years ago? And they've named Robert a person of interest? How did you end up in the water? Did you fall in the water or did you get put in the water? I thought I heard I fell. Were you pushed? Maybe. How did you get bruises on your temple? You had over 28 bruises on your body. And they said you looked like an assault victim. Were you assaulted? I heard dizzy. Do you remember the last thing that happened to you on the Splendour? You were fighting with Robert? Witnesses have come forward recently and said that they heard you screaming for help. Was that you? And then I heard I did. You had over 28 bruises on your body. Was the autopsy report, was information hidden on it? I'm afraid it was. Was someone paid to hide the information on the report? It sounded like sure. Did you fall in the water or were you put in the water? Were you assaulted or was it an accident? I thought I heard an injury. You can communicate through this box and we'll be able to hear you. It'll pick up the words and you'll be able to communicate. Do you have any messages for family or friends? What about your sister Lana? Did you know that she just wrote a book called Little Sister? Did you know about that? Do you have any messages for your sister Lana? It sounded like you see me. Are you around your sister? Do you watch over her? Are you around your daughters? Who did this to you? Was it an accident? Or was it a murder? It sounded like, so maybe, I don't remember. Do you remember what? So this just came on and said okay? So who said okay just now? Are you okay? Is that your message? Your sister really wants justice for your case. She really thinks that Robert has been lying about what happened. Is that true? It sounded like either the bishop or suspicious. Is Robert withholding information about the case? Yeah. How did you get all the bruises all over you? Injury. What kind of injury? Ghost Tube App just came on and said the name Kyle. Who's Kyle? Natalie, if you're still here with us, can you say Natalie for us? Should Robert be held accountable for your murder or your drowning? And how did you get all the bruises? Once again. Did you take the dinghy and try to leave the boat and you fell out of the dinghy? Is that what happened? Iron. It says iron. Well, who said iron? Are you okay now? Where are you? Are you in heaven? Is there a heaven, Natalie? Do you want justice in your case? And one more time, how did you end up in the water? I heard a woman say like a sentence and I couldn't hear it real clear, so I'll listen to it with the headphones on. Do you have any other messages for me before we go? Can you say something through this device so that we have confirmation that it's you? Can you say your name real loud and clear, Natalie Wood? It sounded like it said, "You got me, Natalie." Natalie, what do you want us to do in your case? Do you want us to just forget about it, or is there unsolved business? Did you know that Robert is a person of interest in the case now? Do you think Robert's gotten away with something that he needs to pay for? Yes. He's like 91 years old or something now, isn't he? How old is he? Do you know it's been like 40 years since you passed? Are you still around your family? Can you tell us what happened to you, the last thing you remember that night? Did you try to leave the boat to go get away from Robert? Did you take the dinghy? You had a very successful film career. So the Ghost Tube app came on and said 2. So what's the number 2? What does that pertain to? Did you ever have an affair with any of the actors you worked with? Do you have anything to say before I go? Any messages for your sister, Lana?
Miss.
Oh, it just came on and said miss. Right when I asked if she had a message for her sister. Now it's going crazy. Did you say miss? You miss your sister? Was that your message to your sister, that you miss her? Because I know she misses you. She wants answers in your case. She says Robert's changed the story a few times now. What really happened that night? It sounded like Robert's wrong. Is Robert lying? What's the name of the boat that you had? I swear I heard it say Splendour. And what are the two letters that you had on the seats? Natalie, did you come through and say miss to your sister? It sounded like I'm hurting. Do you want more information about your case? Do you want it solved? Do you want something done? There was like another sentence from a woman. Can you give us any more clues or hints about your case that would help? So the Ghost Tube app just came on and said bite. Why did you say bite? Sounded like danger. Do you have anything else to say before I go? You could light up this little bear, his little paws will light up. It sounded like, so you get it. Well, thank you for talking to me. I hope there's justice in your case soon. It sounds like they've reopened it. They haven't been able to question Robert. But there are new witnesses now. Thank you for talking to me. Goodbye. Bye. Good night. So that concludes the spirit box session in the case of Natalie Wood. So I'm going to leave the spirit box running for a few more minutes, and like I always say, remember to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification button, and that way you'll get notified when I put out new videos. So thanks for watching and have a good night.
Good.